Mic was muted. The mic was muted, so you missed what was probably the greatest intro ever. But we're live and we're waiting for 4. So if you want to hop in, now's the time. We got the ticker going. It's got the latest BBM exposures, although I've done a little bit more than 85 drafts at this point. I think we're in the low 90s, but we're off and running. Hey, Hartman, GMTQ, happy TreVeyon Day to those who celebrate. What a day. What a day. First touch, just a house call. You really love to see it. I think all of us immediately frantically ran to check our exposures there. Of course, I have the anti-influencer 112 here. But yeah, Hartman, thanks so much for coming and hanging out. I hope you are happy with where your exposures are out so far. I'm sitting a lot closer to this overhead second monitor that I have at this temporary home. Let's see. We're gonna find out together because I actually don't know what my TreVeyon exposure is. Let's see. All right. 9.4. Let's go. We are above market, so we're gonna make it, guys. We're gonna make it. All right. Let's see. I might have to move this back. I'm way too close to this second monitor situation here. Hey, Lutz, GM to you. As some of you know, I'm traveling, so I'm not in my normal setup, and it's super wonky the way that I have my screens. But I do appreciate you all coming out and supporting this fledgling little channel. Bindles, GM to you. Thank you so much for coming in. Bindles, famously the first ever guest I had on my channel. Bindles, again, thank you for doing that. That was a ton of fun, and can't wait to do that again with you. My wife and kid are also sleeping in the room next to me, so I'm being extra quiet. Again, if my audio doesn't sound good, let me know. I think I could turn the mic up. FK Coolers, good time in finding the stream as I'm about to make 72 slow picks. FK Coolers, I have nothing but respect for you all who are in the slow draft streets. I think I heard Davis on this Swolecast channel said he was in the I think it was over 350 slows right now, and I just can't get in the slow draft game. Maybe if I had so many that it reached a tipping point, I would feel like, okay, this is actually an important part of it. But I never have more than 5 or 10, so it just seems like a nuisance. Bindles saying hello to the crew and Loot saying hello back. All right, let's see what is coming to us. Again, Underdog recently updated their draft board, which is really nice. It does make it a lot easier to see how many of each position your fellow drafters have been taking. I have been wanting to get some BTJ exposure, so I'd love for him to be one of my 2 picks here. I'm like many of us a little bit leery of Puka these days, although Puka at 12 is pretty nice. So I do have plenty of Puka. I do want to get up on BTJ and A-Chain a little bit, so we'll do that. We'll do that start on this team. We'll get a little Florida, a little Floridian start to the team, and see how that goes. FK Course, Davis, Max, Reg, Puppy threes, all slows at the same time. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And he's the one that's been letting the streets know that if you join a slow now, there's a chance you're not going to end with the 8-hour clocks. And to me, that's man, when you get to those 4-hour clocks, let alone the 1-hour clocks at the end, that is just brutal. That is just brutal. I mean, although, I think the cutoff was a couple days ago for when you're pretty sure you're not going to end up in a slow. You can control that a little yourself. If you're snapping off picks, you can yourself, shave some time off the drafts. But if you're taking the full clock, you're definitely lining up to be part of the problem. But that said, it's no guarantee that you're not going to be in 4-hour slow draft hell, which is really the worst form of it. I'll put on some night driving, get a little music going. I do appreciate you all hanging out. If I usually wait till about 45 minutes in to ask people to like and subscribe, but you know what? I'm going to do it early. I'm going to do it early. If you all can like and subscribe, it would be fantastic. Again, really appreciate y'all hanging out on this Friday night. Just a chill little stream. Hopefully run a couple of BBMs and maybe draft something with. I don't think any of you all are in here. I don't recognize any names, although that's probably going to happen more and more as I don't want to say the casuals arrive, but as people who have not been in the streets since was it the week before the Super Bowl that the big board opened, or 2 weeks before the Super Bowl? We were drafting the big board when the season wasn't even over. So, not everybody is as dedicated to the cause as those of us who are grinding there. Hey, Tim 1387, thanks so much for coming by. And yes, we're getting the beats going. Something a little different than the normal morning feeding the ducks. Hey, the what? Thanks so much for coming in, dropping the candle emote. Really appreciate that, and appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Hopefully I can live up to this. This is we got the 12 hole, so we can justify reaching for people. That's always fun. You tell yourself you're on the turn, you're like, well, you know what, they weren't going to come back to me, and so you can justify an awful lot of picks that way. All right, let's see. Nothing too noteworthy, although seeing Allen and Jackson going on the left side of the board, I think we're seeing that happen more and more. The Chase drafter took T. Higgins, so probably hoping to either pull off the grand push or we'll be taking Burrow there. I do want to be getting my Jaden Daniels exposure up a little bit, but I'm also low on BTJ, so I don't really like to stack those bets where I don't have a ton of the player. JSN, a little falling value, I would take that, but yeah, wasn't really sure I'd get that. Mike Evans will be one of the picks. Nice week 17 with A-Chain. Daniels wouldn't be too bad, but let's do Worthy. Let's do Evans Worthy on this team. Get a lot of receiving firepower. I'm not very excited about Breece Hall. Cryptic tweets aside, don't really know what's going on with all of that. Allen getting a huge amount of camp buzz could be a lot more of a 50-50 split than we want, considering the difference in ADP. We're taking Breece Hall in the 3rd, 4th round, and we're taking Braylon Allen. Where is he going? In the 14th round, around here, maybe even the 15th. So, that difference in ADP does not make a ton of sense to me. I don't have a full fade position on Breece Hall, but he's a guy that I just have trouble clicking there. FK Coolers likes pulling up Worthy a few spots when I got the 112 too. Yeah, I love Worthy, and he just hasn't risen enough to me for where for the Rice suspension. When that drops, we don't know how many games it'll be, but regardless, I do have a feeling that it's possible we see the Chiefs really build the offense around Worthy. And if that's humming along, when Rice comes back, I don't think they're going to stop that. I think Worthy is really has the potential to keep being the focal point of the Chiefs offense. I could see some positive regression there. I get the sense that they're probably looking to, I think the Super Bowl was a little bit of a wake-up call. They need to kind of recapture some of that magic from 3-4 years ago. I really excited about Mahomes this year. I'm low on him, weirdly enough. As high as as much as I do like him, I don't know if that's a function of just him and Worthy's ADPs didn't line up for the whole cycle or what, or me being kind of out on Rice, but I definitely want to get more Mahomes. I think I'm only around 4 to 5% currently, and that's something I do need to rectify. I think when I do target him on Worthy, he tends to just randomly get taken, but I think I can pencil him here and pick 84, 85 with this team, barring something truly extraordinary. I will probably also have the chance to take Baker there if I want to do that, and we'll see what other, if we take a receiver in this range or if we double tap running back. Checking the board, trying to see if anyone's doing anything too weird. It's a little weird seeing Bowers and McBride go back to back. It's very hard for me to click McBride, the pick right after Bowers. That's probably a little bit of a leak, but it's it just doesn't feel like necessarily the best consolation prize in the world. I'm going to turn down my brightness because I'm look like it's Casper the Ghost streaming. So I need to get that addressed because this is not the most flattering lighting situation we've got here. Hartman says people also just take Mahomes naked. Yep. It's endemic. People take Mahomes naked, and maybe I should be doing that too. But I've said for a long time, I have a real problem with the delta between Burrow and Mahomes' ADPs. I just don't think they should be going like 4 rounds apart, or however you want to define it, because they usually kind of go on opposite sides of the board. But like, it is such a huge difference where they go. Now, of course, this Mysterio guy, he has to take Joe Burrow here. Maybe he was afraid the Chase Brown drafter would take him, but he gets naked Burrow there. So, things you kind of hate to see a little bit. Chuba Hubbard would definitely be the pick. I could take Travis Hunter and double up the BTJ bet. That's certainly would be an interesting maneuver. I don't have a ton of Travis Hunter either, so like I said, I don't necessarily love to stack bets I've been a little bit out on, but I don't know. I kind of like this James Conner, Travis Hunter week 8 by apocalypse situation here, so let's do it. Let's really just lean into the Jaguars. If we don't get T-Law, it's going to be a little bit ugly. But again, you know what? We could, if we do get Mahomes on this team, which I'm hoping we will. If we do have the 2 receivers, there's a world where if this team really gets there, Mahomes could outscore Lawrence, even if BTJ and or Hunter have good games. So not the end of the world if we don't get that stack, but at the very least, we're building something kind of fun. And I do like taking Travis Hunter later in this BBM cycle, because he was definitely going earlier in previous drafts. FK Coolers asks, how are you treating Keenan Allen post-signing? Out of curiosity, his ADP hasn't really settled. So I got to be honest, I've been traveling this past week, so I haven't drafted as much as I want to. Kind of like the worst timing for that, because this is literally crunch time. I feel like I slightly below market. I think I'm at like 6 or 7%, and obviously I wish that was a bit higher. Probably continue to just try to stay around 8% of Keenan. It's what I'm not sure of is the other pass catchers. I don't know where QJ has settled. I don't know which of the ancillary pieces this hurts most. There's been some weirdness with Ladd McConkey. Like, apparently he hasn't practiced in a couple weeks. Again, these things are nothing until they're something. I don't think there's like reason for alarm, but I've seen him fall in some other drafts. I mean, I think he went in like the late 20s in a stream draft I was watching, and it just kind of shocking to me, because he normally he lives here and pick 18 in the middle of round 2 to like slip into round 3. You can end up with some teams that might look like super teams, but definitely in on Keenan Allen. I want some shares of that. So that's I think he showed last year that he definitely still has the talent to kind of do what he does. It was not my preferred landing spot. I was really hoping he would actually go to Arizona. I think he would have made a ton of sense on the Cardinals. My dream landing spot was the Bengals. I think he would have been super fun as like the slot receiver there. I think that would have been cool. I mean, it would have sent Yoshi Voss to 0, but I would have been willing to accept that for that. But I don't think he wants to play in Cincinnati. Like, I think he made it pretty clear he either wanted to go back where he was familiar or play in California somewhere with good weather. All right, let's see. The board's coming back to us. Bo Nix there at 72. That's pretty early for that player who they don't have Sutton, so just they really wanted Bo Nix. Might have been there at 96, might not have, but people are, it's get your guy season. It is early April and it is get your guy season. Let's put Mahomes Pacheco would be the absolute dream, but I'm not sure if we'll get that. Baker Mayfield would be a potential option. We could take I could take Baker Godwin. That would be a ton of firepower on Tampa Bay, or even Baker, I guess, has Ibuka gone. I'm not sure if Ibuka's gone yet. If Pacheco goes, I still think we take Mahomes. And the question is who do we take him with? Aaron Jones, I'm pretty cool on, but running back is dead after that. Mixon, I think this guy autoed him too, which kind of sucks. I'm not really taking much Mixon. I think it's just Aaron Jones. I think that's the pick for me. I'm not really very excited about Brian Robinson, especially with the rise of Krosky Merritt, although I heard he did get hurt. I don't know the severity of that injury. Aaron Jones, I'm afraid it's going to be more of a timeshare with Mason, like pretty close to 50-50. And part of me almost feels like I prefer Mason, but we'll see. We'll see. I did feel like I needed a running back more than any of those wide receivers there. I guess you could have made an argument. Maybe I could have, taken Baker and Mahomes, made this a 2 QB team. But I really think that, we'll make T-Law a priority. So that might have been getting a little too clever, doing something like that. But yeah, I really think that was an auto pick from that guy taking Mahomes, or taking Pacheco there. All right, Justin Fields, that's a little bit early there, going at 87, but it is the Garrett Wilson drafter, so I think that makes a ton of sense for Martine 54. Keon Coleman at 89, that's, again, that's a big rise from where he was going earlier in this contest. So a few interesting changes as we move along in the process. I think 132 is around where T-Law's ADP is. Let me just make sure. 130. So I'm willing to push it. I'm not going to take him here at 108 or 109 and just say that if it doesn't happen, then that sucks. And like, what are we going to do? But yeah, so far so good on the team. I guess I'll recap for the audio listeners out there. We've got a 1-3-4-0 with Mahomes, A-Chain, James Conner, and Aaron Jones at running back. BTJ, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Travis Hunter at receiver, and no one in the tight end room yet, but obviously we will look to add somebody. It's entirely possible at 108 we'll get a Travis Kelce. He does have a tendency to fall. I mean, Hawkinson fell in this room all the way to 95, so maybe this is a room that's not looking at elite tight end as closely, so that might be a nice double stack. And as soon as we say that, Travis Kelce goes at pick 96. I don't know if that's the Bo Nix drafter who just said, well, if I don't have any Broncos, I might as well get some Chiefs as a week 17 bring back for the team that's not going to make it to week 17. All right. And otherwise, just looking, doesn't seem like anybody has any positions that are too crazy. A 0-3-5-0 is probably the most kind of, and it's not even that unusual. Yeah, no one doing anything too weird in this room. Travis Etienne, very hard for me to click at 99. I'm trying to see, this person is a threat to maybe take T-Law because they do have, Jonathan Taylor and Etienne, so they could tell themselves that's a week 17 game, but hopefully with Lamar Jackson, they go a different route. Although Brock Purdy probably would have been that route if they were going to do it. Maybe they'll be looking to take Jordan Love there and save me from having to take T-Law here at 108, which I really just do not want to do. All right, Baker Mayfield, some pretty good options coming in. We'll queue up some guys. I'm really out on Ayuk. I have no need for Purdy. Ingram would be nice. I like Shaheed. Of course, you don't have to twist my arm to take Scatabo. I do want a little more Tyler Warren than I have. Just going to put some names in the queue to make sure I don't miss out on anything. And of course, let me put T-Law in. All right. I feel like if Baker comes to us, I should just take Baker. I don't know that he will, because I think Chris Godwin went right to this guy. So I imagine this pint of draft will take him. Especially if he really is autoing, he'll be at the top of the ADP queue. There goes Mark Andrews. So if, Ingram would be nice. He's week 17 with the Chiefs, of course. I would probably take Ingram and either Scatabo or Rashid Shaheed. Let's see what happens here. Oh, he takes Purdy. So I think we just take Baker Ingram. Let's take the value on Baker here, and we'll take a nice tight end. So I like that. Pretty happy with how that shook out. Was definitely not expecting Baker to be there. 15 picks past ADP, and a little bit of value on Evan Ingram. So sometimes when you're at the turn, you don't have to reach for people, and stuff falls to you. I'd feel amazing about this team if Aaron Jones was Isaiah Pacheco, but you know what? That's one of those sentences that could sound really stupid if Isaiah Pacheco is bad again. But he sounds like he's been having a good camp. So, Cam Scatabo, of course, somebody that I think he's my highest exposed player. It's either him or Jameson Williams. Scatabo had been a big faller after the hamstring injury. Beat reporter came out and said that, it's Tracy's backfield. We'll see. We'll see what happens by week 17. But, obviously would have liked to see Scatabo not be injured. Keenan Allen at 112. Oh my God. I gotta see what his ADP is at. Where are you, Mysterio? What do they have? They have Keenan Allen at 166. Obviously, that's like a fake ADP because Underdog ADPs are slow to adapt. But FK Coolers, to go back to your question, I will not be taking Keenan Allen at 112, no matter what. Unless maybe like if Ladd's out for the year, then we might be having a very different conversation. But short of some, apocalypse having in the wide receiver room in LA that somehow spares Keenan Allen, I am struggling to get that. FK Cooler says, leg up and ETR disagree on Keenan Allen quite a bit. ETR much higher on him in their raw rankings. Yeah, I subbed to both of them, but I haven't downloaded their rankings in weeks, so I probably should do that. But yeah, I actually did not know that. I'll have to. I'm curious as to see where they are. Tim says, even if there's a fire, yeah. I don't know if Keenan Allen would have to escape the room and everybody else, be dealing with smoke inhalation and be out for a couple weeks. I have no idea. That's just crazy to me. Keenan Allen at 112. You're just getting it in so bad at that point. But this is also the drafter that took unstacked Joe Burrow at 57, and they have Mixon and Judkins. I mean, my God, this team. This is a very interesting team that they have going there. Let's see, who was the guy I was afraid might take? This was the guy I was afraid might take my dude T-Law, but instead he took Caleb. He did a Caleb Loveland stack there. I think that's fine, but I think there's a reasonable chance I get Trevor Lawrence on this team. I still would do a 3 QB team. Even with what I've got here, Slot Demon probably would be the pick. Is Tank Bigsby gone now? No, Bigsby hasn't gone. Oh no, T-Law went. Why did you take T-Law? Martine 54, you stink at this game. All right, well, that was unfortunate. Would have really liked Trevor Lawrence there, but you know what? I ran my mouth saying that maybe Patrick Mahomes would outscore him in week 17, and now I've got to actually pretend like I believe it. Christian Kirk, I could do Kirk Stroud here. Kind of a interesting instant stack, but I think Kirk and Bigsby makes more sense. And if I want to add a late stack, I can do that. That was a little bit unfortunate to not get T-Law on this team. Yeah. Tim, high risk threshold for that person. Yeah. If that team somehow makes it to week 17 and all those guys are healthy, it's going to be like, how did this room let them get Judkins in the 100s and Mixon and unstack Joe Burrow? Hartman, Keenan played on the lowest pass yardage offense in the league and still put up good metrics. Yeah. Not getting sniped on T-Law is what you needed to win. That's it. Famously, I think more than one BBM winner has gotten sniped on someone they wanted and then ultimately won. So, you know what? Maybe that's maybe you're exactly right, Hartman. That is what I needed. I do like that I have this nice big Jacksonville bet, even if I don't have even if I don't have T-Law. If that team is good, then I'm still could be cooking. And Baker and Mahomes is a pretty nice consolation prize there. Thinking about any kind of backstacking QB, we could look at, I don't even know. I don't have any option, right? Like nobody on my team. I don't think Tua will be there. Tua would probably be the only quarterback not drafted yet that I could take. Yeah, it would be Tua. But I think it's probably unlikely he comes all the way to me. He's got to get all the way past the board again. And let's see. Where is the Tyreek guy? The Tyreek guy already has 2 QBs, and the Waddle guy only has 1. So I'd be surprised if B-Nuz passes on Tua, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. If Tua goes, then maybe this is naked Bryce Young or Cam Ward. Tua goes there. That's was to be expected. Bryce Young apparently looked really good in his preseason game, so we could always do that. All right, Tim says, can't imagine Judkins plays this year, especially with the DV accusations. NFL would have to be crazy for him letting play football. Yeah, it's very fact pattern dependent. And the NFL has been very inconsistent in how they deal with that. I saw someone who had mentioned that they waived the right to a speedy trial, which is, a constitutional right that defendants have in criminal cases. And I forget exactly how many days. Once you invoke your right to a speedy trial, then the trial has to begin within a certain amount of time. I think it's 60 days in most places, something like that. But so someone who found that out was like, oh, that means this is going to drag on and on. But sometimes in the course of plea negotiations, the defense will waive their right to a speedy trial as part of that. So it actually can mean the opposite, that it's going to be resolved sooner than later. So I wouldn't really read too much into that, this is going to be a long, drawn out legal, battle. We really don't know that yet. I am going to take Cam Ward here. Judkins a little bit of a faller. Brenton's strange. We could get just all of the Jags. I am going to take Cam Ward and Kyle Pitts. We're just really going to slap it up with the Kyle Pitts pick. But to get back to that, I think it is possible that if they reach a plea deal before the season, then it is possible he does play this year. The other hurdle is the Browns still have to sign him, so I don't know what's going on with that, right? So there's so many moving parts, but I don't think any of them say definitively he is or isn't playing. To me, though, the biggest issue is the longer that this drags on, the more he's just going to fall behind the starters. He's got to learn the plays. He's got to learn the protections. I don't know how good of a prospect he was in pass pro. I don't have that off the top of my head to know if that's something that's they knew he was going to need to work on, or was actually a big part of his game, because that's the biggest thing that keeps rookies off the field is if they're not good in pass protection. We know he can run the ball, but if he's getting his QB killed, that's not going to work. So yeah, that's the thing, Tim. So we don't. It could though, if they're if it actually does turn into a full-blown trial, then yeah, it could literally take this whole season to play out. But again, just the idea of waiving the right to speedy trial doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a go to trial. Yeah, Cam Ward and Io Minor stack about to go crazy. Absolutely. Hopefully we can add Io Minor to this team, because we we're gonna need a couple late receivers in the room. FK Coors, yeah, it's a Browns running back with a lot of downside rip. I'm not all out, but man, I need a price too good to pass up. That is how I'm playing it. I don't think I've drafted him in a while, because I haven't gotten that dream price yet. But hopefully I can, because I think I'm still here. I'll hop over real quick and see what my exposure is here. Judkins. Oh, I'm still at 7.1, and I haven't taken him in like a month. So that is ugly. I still have way too much. Yeah, you hate to see it. I was taking him a lot in that range. I was mixing him and Caleb quite a bit, and actually, like a week before that happened, I was like, oh, I have too much Caleb. I need to take more Judkins instead. And now I'm like, oh, I wish I hadn't checked that. Deontay Thornton going at 170. He apparently played ahead of Betch today, was running a full complement of routes. I don't think he did a whole lot with them, but I think it's, the bigger sign is that he's out there like doing stuff, and that's pretty exciting. Let's see, where are you, Io Minar? Let's queue him up just so we don't miss that. People get really slappy at this point in drafts. We're gonna take one more tight end, and do we want one more running back or two? I kind of think I want two running backs, but I'm not necessarily married to that. Miles Sanders, Jarquez Hunter, Brashard's. This has gotten a little bit ugly. Are there any wide receivers like we absolutely must have? Diami Brown would be nice, but I really don't think I need another Jag. I think that's getting that's jumping the shark just a touch there. I will take Io Manor, and why don't we do Cade Otton, actually? I said I was going to wait on tight end, but I think Otton with Baker will be a nice way to end the tight end room. So let's get Io Manor in here. Let's get Cade Otton in here. And we just have to decide if we want two running backs next, or a running back and a receiver. I almost think it's two running backs. BTJ, Evans, Worthy, Travis Hunter, Christian Kirk, and Io Manor. Probably, if that's not enough wide receiver firepower, I don't know if Jalen Knoll and Jalen Royals is going to do it. Although Jalen Royals might make sense on this team. Being this is a Mahomes team, so I'll add him to the queue and pull up the board. And I think we'll probably run one more after this. Keep the board up so people can see who's going late. Krosky Merritt there at 172. Again, everyone, thanks so much for coming and hanging out. If you can, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I might do one of these tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I don't normally stream on the weekends, but I think these have been a lot of fun to do, these evening streams. And then Monday, I will not be able to stream in the morning because I'm going to be traveling. But then Tuesday, I'll be back at the normal 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So back at the normal time there. My God, someone just took Shadur Sanders, someone who only has two quarterbacks. I don't even know what to say. I guess they have Jalen Hurts. So, when Liam won BBM, he had Josh Allen and Justin Fields only, and I think Justin Fields contributed like 4.5 fantasy points on his team. So you know what? Maybe JPQ is trying to recreate that magic with a elite quarterback and someone who's not going to do a whole lot. But my God, we are at that point of the year where people are watching preseason games and windmilling in Shadur Sanders in the 16th round. I can't make fun of Shadur Sanders, people. I got about 17% in the big board. Not great. I bought all the mock drafts that said he was going to be in the first round pick, and he's going to start for the Giants. I think he was wearing like Giants cleats, which now just seems really sad. Anyway, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it, but hey, he apparently looked good today, and that's not surprising. I mean, he did look good in college. There was a reason he was getting a lot of hype, but it just sounds like the off the field stuff. Just he was not a perfect prospect by any means, but it just seemed like it just was not worth the headache for someone if they really didn't project like a high end starter. But yeah, the 5th round. My God, that did seem a little bit excessive of a drop. I could do Brashard Smith and really slap it up. DJ Giddens might make sense. It did look like he was the backup in Indy. I've heard mixed things. Did he not pick up the blitz for A-Rich that got him injured? Or was that a zero protection scheme and A-Rich just didn't see a guy coming that he should have seen? I don't know. Someone with their hand in the dirt might know better than me, but it does scare me a little bit if it was a blitz pickup that Giddens whiffed on. But again, it sounds like it may not have been. It may have really been a zero protection where he was going to run a route and not expected to stay in and block. But yeah, let's do Royals and Giddens. I assume our King Mitchell is gone at this point. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell did go. He was apparently a big winner. So let's do Jaden Royals and a DJ Giddens, and that will wrap the team up. So we've got a 3-5-7-3 with Mahomes, Baker, Cam Ward, running back room of Devon Achane, James Conner, Aaron Jones, Tank Bigsby, and DJ Giddens. A wide receiver room of BTJ, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Travis Hunter, Christian Kirk, Alec Iomanner, and Jalen Royals. And in a tight end room of Evan Ingram, Kyle Pitts, and Kate Otten. I don't mind this team. I think it's fine. Definitely would have preferred to have T-Law on it, but we didn't get T-Law. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Hartman says, Shadur is the future brother. It's better to be on the right side of history. All right. I hope the big board counts. Tim says, Giants QB room is something. Hopefully we can get some Jameis games this year. If nothing else for the mic'd up Jameis, that would be perfect. I'm just going to hop in another BBM and let's see. Waiting for 5. If anyone wants to get in. Tyler, #Tetas. Hey, Tyler, thanks so much for coming in and hanging out. Really appreciate your support. Thanks for coming in yesterday. Yeah, it was, I really do appreciate you stopping by because, yeah, yesterday was, yesterday was tough out there in the algo streets and you stepped up and helped come by. So thank you again. Tim is positive on Trevor Lawrence this year. Yeah, it's hard not to be. I mean, we slappies love our Liam Cohen and between him and Ben Johnson, we get to latch on to these coordinators turned head coaches with young-ish quarterbacks that we're excited about. So, or want to believe in. All right, so Hartman, I believe that's you there at 10, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I see anybody else in there, but if you are, please identify yourself. I think you're actually required. You are required by law to let the streamer know that you're in here. Hope you have a good weekend on tap. Hit the like, folks. Hey, Tyler, thanks so much. Yeah, just a bunch of hikes with the family, and I'm embarrassed to say because right now, the lighting is again. I mentioned earlier it looked like Casper the Ghost was streaming, but I'm doing like a family photo shoot. I think on Sunday, so it's just like, oh God, like hire a photographer kind of thing. So yeah, that's gonna be super fun. It's gonna be super fun. I know you all really wanted to know that. The what? There you are, the 12. Nice. Thanks so much for coming in. Tyler says hikes sound divine. Yeah, I'm up in the Canadian Rockies, deep in Alberta right now. So I'm have some beautiful scenery. I will say that, but it's why I'm on so late. Hartman says, I've never seen that guy at 10 before in my life. I don't know if you're joking now. Why did I think you were DMH09, Hartman? I don't know, man. I'm sorry. It is late here. Now I can't tell if you're doing a bit. I'm easily fooled. As you can tell by my Cam Scatabo exposure. So, but yeah, I am sorry. It's late. But you know what? It's probably good to be in these rooms with me because as you can see, the teams have been a little dicey there. I really would love to get one of these fabled rooms where Saquon falls to the 7 hole, but it doesn't seem to ever happen to me. But we'll take some CMC in there. It was me. It was okay. Hartman, I'm like, it's hard to keep track of the people who don't have the same username. So then I felt bad because I'm like, I know that's somebody. Time it says, get that face on for the camera. Yeah. Tyler, my base, my base for my microphone is actually a literal candle here at the Airbnb. It's this like bejeweled candle holder, because I didn't bring my like boom arm for the microphone, so this is a really a tough scene here. Yeah, no, Tyler's right though. Never apologize for a bit. Nick, WTF. Nick, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate the support. Hopefully that WTF wasn't you on delay looking at my last team. Tyler says, sounds sick. Yeah, it is really nice here. I should probably draft somebody though, because I'm on the clock. Yeah, I'll take Drake London here. That sounds good. Love me some Drake London, especially slightly past ADP. Yeah, Bowers at 16, a little bit earlier than we've seen him go, but I think that's perfectly reasonable. Anywhere in the second round is just fine. Let's see what our friend Hartman. So he gets Puka Genti. Nice start there. Yeah. Can see if anyone does anything too out of the ordinary. I guess AJ Brown. That's a little early for AJ Brown, but again, not too noteworthy here. All right. All I know about base is to measure from it. Yes, absolutely. Otherwise, you're just shortchanging yourself. Recognize the neck rec awning. No worries, bro. Can you chandle it? My God. Well, thanks so much for coming in. Recognize. I know what you're. Recognize the Ned Reckoning. Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Reckoning. I think I botched that the first time, but thank you for coming in. Appreciate the support. And yeah, it's late here. It's late even here, but I do appreciate you all hanging out. We've got Omarion Hampton at 24. I thought we would start to see him slip with the offensive line concerns there in LA, but I guess Benny Kahn not worried. He takes Josh Allen there at 25. We're seeing that more and more. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, Ned Reckoning. I knew I'd get there eventually. And like I said, I'm easily fooled here at this hour. All right, and I'm on the clock again. I've really got to do better with this. Let's just play the hits and take Garrett Wilson. I am nothing if not a Garrett Wilson truther, and I will take him there, especially because it gets pretty dicey over here if you're not taking one of the elite quarterbacks here. Sober thoughts. Thanks for coming over and hanging out with us this late evening in Dynasty Superflex Tight End Premium. Would you trade A-Chain/2026 first for Hampton/Hawk? I don't think I would, but opinions may vary on that. I don't think I'd make that move, but I'm also like, there's people in this chat who are better at Dynasty than me, and so they might have opinions on that. But my first thought would be probably not. I think A-Chain's still pretty young, and I don't know. I don't know. I guess I think I'm a little lower on Hampton than maybe some people are. Debating on flipping short. Oh, so yeah, I don't know. If you're long ETH, you're in absolute Valhalla right now. And if the timeline is euphoric, sometimes you gotta flip bearish. But I don't know. This run seems to have some legs to it. I'll say that. Let's do a Ted McMillan team here. I probably would have taken Daniels had he fallen. I don't really want McLaurin on this team. I don't think so. We'll take a Ted McMillan share. He looked pretty good. All right, let's see. Kind of negative Najee news probably evens out the O-line injury. That's fair. Yeah, and then like Harbaugh saying I looked into his eye. That was a little weird. I don't know if he meant that. Like, I don't know. I mean, Harbaugh's kind of a weird guy, but that was like, I don't know what's going on. Ned Rec is the name. Filling the gap and smacking ass is my game. Well, You know what? I'm glad that you're printing. I'm glad that you're yeah. Yeah, no, you got to set your stop losses. You don't want to get licked out there. Hartman says, I definitely want the A-chain side in that trade. Yeah, that was my kind of thought there. I mean, Hawkinson's not absolutely nothing, but he's he's not a spring chicken anymore, and I think he might be in that range where he's a little bit overvalued. He's not elite, but how much better is he than the kind of replacement value tight end? I don't know. I really like A-Chain though, and the first round pick is a little bit of a mystery box. All right, so far for the audio listeners, we've got a 0-1-3-0. We've got CMC, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, and Ted McMillan. So not bad. Travis Hunter this time went all the way on the left side of the board. I got him there on the right last time, but of course I did not get Mr. Lawrence with him, so maybe better luck to C-Dog over here. Benny Kahn, so he took Chase, but he ended up taking Allen. So where did T. Higgins go? Okay, T. Higgins went to C-Dog, so he did not take Joe Burrow either. We will see where Burrow goes in this room, if we have somebody who's hoovering up unstacked quarterbacks or not. All right. Oh my gosh, we're on the clock again. Why do I keep doing that? My God. Well, let's take Chuba Hubbard. Ooh, do we want Hubbard? I think we want a let's take Hubbard here and do Tet and Hubbard will build out this bet on Carolina, and we'll hope that when week 14 comes, we don't plunge out of the money, because that could definitely happen with the bye weeks that we have got going on. All right. Hold the board back up. Let's see what our friend Hartman's doing. So Hartman, he took Puka, Genti, Breece Hall, George Kittle, and Rome Odunze. So I like that. I like the Odunze Kittle week 17 stuff you've got going on there. Let's see what Hartman decides to do around the turn. All right, so there goes Connor and Kamara. Jennings goes. I wonder if Hartman would have been interested in Jennings to build out the San Francisco stack, or if he's a Pearsall guy, or how he decides to play that. I don't think I want to take unstacked Joe Burrow, but opinions may vary on doing that. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't slightly spooked by them putting RJ Harvey fifth in the unofficial depth chart, but I think that's just a psyop trying to keep you poor. I think I will take RJ Harvey if he's here. So we'll just continue to take the ADP value that we've been getting in this room. Again, Harvey was a guy we were taking a lot early in BBM, so don't mind taking him at pick 66 there. Hartman says it's always been Ricky P. Yeah, that's one of the great schisms in the best ball community is who is your Niner receiver? Who is your Niner receiver? And for a long time, I was like Jennings or die, and I dabbled with Kittle. Took a lot of Kittle. His price now has gotten pretty expensive, but I really still like Kittle. And now I see the arguments of the Pearsall people. There's good people on both sides, or all three sides. However, I will not abide by the Ayuk resistance. They are out to keep you poor. I think Ayuk is not a good bet this season. I really struggle to take him. I don't think he's going to be ready for week 1, and I don't think the team likes him. I don't think he likes being on the team. The vibe is in shambles, and I don't think he's that great anyway. I never saw that much in him. I of course am an ASU slappy, but I even then not a big fan of Ayuk. And I don't know. So we've got our 0-3-3-0 team. I don't have any reason to take Mahomes on this particular team. I don't have a tight end that makes sense. Jaden Reed is somebody that I don't have a lot of, but I wouldn't mind. Pacheco wouldn't be the worst pick. I could take Godwin in hopes of some late season production. I think it would either be Pacheco, Godwin, or Downs for me in this particular spot. If I did get Pacheco, I could probably make this a five running back team. With that not happening, I'll take some Josh Downs. I'm pretty low on I'm pretty light on Downs, but I think I should probably add some of that. Maybe Godwin's better for late season stuff, but it was a pretty catastrophic injury that he suffered. I could see that lingering on. It is a little concerning. They drafted Igbuka, so we'll take Josh Downs. Hartman says Ayuk at least falls into that dead range close to 120 now, makes him clickable. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted by him and in the one teens. And maybe like it said, there's no bad players, there's just bad prices, and he might just be in the bad, have been in the bad price range and now be getting to where he could actually make sense. I mean, if he's healthy by late in the season and he's working in, he's not a bad click. He's absolutely live to have some spike weeks. I'm just being a little bit of a stick in the mud on that, but we'll see where we end up on him. Let's see. We've got London, Wilson, Ted McMillan, and Downs. I don't have any need for any of these quarterbacks in this range. Shakir, of course, had the high ankle sprain. Darnell Mooney has a AC joint injury. Mixon went from precautionary walking boot to he may never play football again. I don't know what to make of that. Pittman would have been interesting, but Hartman took him. I do like that pick. I was considering taking both. Of the Colts pass catchers there. Jaylen Warren, I wouldn't mind. I don't think I have as much Jaylen Warren as I probably should, considering he could be a check down merchant PPR scam kind of player. Maybe leaned him a little more in this team where I do have two week 14 buys with CMC and Hubbard. So, all right, let's pull the board back up. Let's see what our friend Hartman has done. So since taking Ricky Pearsall, he adds Higgins and Pittman. So I like the team there. I wasn't sure. I could remember if you were the Nico guy doing a Nico Higgins double, but I like Higgins regardless. I was just curious there. There goes Mahomes. There goes Kyler. So a couple of the more elite quarterbacks go off the board. Thinking about the quarterback for myself, we've got Penix, we've got Fields, we've got Young, and then, gosh, it's gross. A-Rich, Daniels, neither of them feel great. If Fields falls to us, we will podium pick that. But he's got to pass quite a few players, including Daber, who doesn't have a quarterback. Even though we have Garrett Wilson, he's a guy that tends to go unstacked. Although he really would be right at ADP for us. I'll add a few guys to the queue that I have interest in. I think I prefer Andrews over Kelsey, even with the ADP. But I'm willing to be somewhat flexible if need be. I haven't really taken Mooney much since the injury, but I wouldn't mind taking Mooney on the I wouldn't mind taking Mooney with the Drake London. But let's get Justin Fields. So we do lock up the Justin Fields Garrett Wilson stack, which I do like. That gives me a little more flexibility. I don't feel like I have to reach for Penix or Young if those don't really line up for us. We'll pull the board back up and then see what Hartman's doing. Hartman says 7-8 turn is so weird now, like you were saying, all the questionable guys. Yeah, it's weird. is weird, and you got to think that some of them are going to be like really extreme values, and then some of them are going to be like, looking back on it, it's like, oh yeah, we took this injured player and they started off slow and never really got going. I mean, certainly live to happen. So yeah, it is kind of a weird range now for sure, and I don't know where some of those guys will settle. There's a big difference between whether Mooney's ready for week 1 or questionable for week 1, or all of a sudden ending up getting put on the real pup, the one that you can't play in the first 4 games. I think that could, if he ends up on that list, that could really send him pretty deep into the, I guess, 110s, 120s at that point, considering he was going in the 80s previously. And I have a lot of Darnell Mooney. I really did like him this season. So we've got Kelsey here, Brandon Ayuk. Again, I said all that, how I never take Ayuk, but like, kind of makes a little bit of sense on this team, I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me. Do I want Stone 0 Ayuk? I feel like I'm okay with that, but you know what? If we're ever gonna take Ayuk, let's take him at pick 114 here. So that might be my first Ayuk share. Excuse me, now I'm dying. I just take Ayuk and I start choking to death. Let's see. Yeah, we have $29 worth of Brandon Ayuk. Not very much. Let's go back here. All right, hold on. I gotta. Big struggles here. Big struggles. Yeah, I'm apparently questionable as well. I'm going on the PUP with coughing fit in the middle here. So for the audio listeners, we've got a 1-4-5-0 with Justin Fields, Christian McCaffrey, Chuba Hubbard, RJ Harvey, and Jalen Warren. Wide receiver room of Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Ted McMillan, Josh Downs, and Brandon Ayuk. Chad with the disingenuous tout to push Ayuk back to himself. You love to see it. Yeah. Hartman, as you can see with my $29 worth of Brandon Ayuk, I was really psyched to make that pick there. But I don't know if I'm ever going to have him. I have a lot of Fields Wilson teams, like a lot of Fields Wilson teams. So, trying to mix up some of the players does probably make sense. That said, I really don't like Brandon Ayuk here. I will put Cam Scatterbo in the queue. I'm not going to even pretend like I don't love that. Where does... all right, so... Wait, did Penix go? What happened here? Who took... No, Penix goes... He's around 140, so... we don't necessarily have to do that if we want him. Okay, so... we'll optimistically queue up Scatterbo. We could put Njoku in the queue there. We could put Bigsby in the queue after. So if Scatterbo goes, we could take either Njoku, or maybe I could just take Bigsby and shut it down. But I will not pass Scatterbo at 127, considering I was taking him like at pick 100 all summer. I will keep making the same mistake. Yeah, if Gatekeepers picked Ayuk and body went into fight or flight mode, yeah, my soul was trying to escape because I made this pick that I like absolutely hate. But again, Hartman is right. He is now into that kind of dead range where if we are playing a week 17 is all that matters game, then he, arguably, around there is not a bad pick. So Hartman, I see Hartman goes quarterback. Yeah, he got his guys. He got his guys. They're all stacked. So well done there. Although it is funny that Hartman did start with Puka and did not did not end up making a Stafford team, but I think that does show the genuine concern that we are having about this Stafford situation. It is a little bit frightening. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely have some concerns about old Mr. Stafford there. I think Penix would be a nice addition to the team, although I do need a tight end, and I do think Dallas Goedert is pretty wildly undervalued there. I love Jordan Love. If I had taken Kraft instead of Kraft, where did Kraft go? Well, anyway, I think, if I had taken Kraft instead of Ayuk, I could be taking Jordan Love now. So this is how bad that Ayuk pick was, is I could, I could be taking guys I like. But instead we have Ayuk on the team. But we do get Michael Penix, so we've got Drake London and Garrett Wilson stacked with their quarterbacks, so like to see that. Hartman, he took Byshell Tootin, another guy that I'm pretty in on. I think he's another guy that could be really strong late in this season. Hartman says, draft isn't over yet. Don't say I didn't make a Stafford team. That's true. I believe the puppy winner or puppy second place had like 4 or 5 quarterbacks, something like that. So we all like obsess over structure, and it turns out like none of that matters. You can just like, if you take the right guys, you can win. But yeah, hey man, if you really want to bully the room, you certainly have the opportunity to take as many quarterbacks as, I can't say as many as you like. I think Underdog caps you at 5, but you could take the max. Ray Zanny is the best puppy winner. Oh, hard agree on Ray. He's a character, and I yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh man. Choices. Kyle Pitts could potentially be there. I think if Kyle Pitts is there, I can't believe I'm taking this much Kyle Pitts, because I'm not like the Kyle Pitts gem guy. I'm not like I must take Kyle Pitts because eventually I'm going to be right. But this is a Penix team, and I think he would be a nice double stack. So let's not Isaac Garenda. Oh, Kyle Pitts goes. You hate to see it. You really hate to see it. I think taking Bryce Young. Is just the move here. That stinks. I would have liked Pitts there, but you know what? You can't win them all, folks. You simply can't win them all. So this is going to be probably a 3-5-7-3. I am in desperate need of a tight end on this team, but hopefully somebody. Hopefully we find somebody. Bindles, Chads. Hey, thanks again for coming and hanging out. We're deep into BBM 2 on this one. I might do one Badge Bros Brawl after this, and then clock out, but we'll see. I might end it after this one. Well, it'll depend on the tight ends we get. If we get 3 tight ends I like, we'll run another one. Also, it's an hour and 4 minutes in. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. It helps me out a ton. I really appreciate the support from all of you, and those who are hanging out on this Friday. It's been a really nice night. It's been a chill stream. So again, thank you all for doing that. Brenton Strange tight end 1 or Pop Douglas. Man, Pop Douglas is a riser, and I'm pretty into that, but I think I need a tight end with a little bit of juice to them. So we'll take Brenton Strange. Isaiah Likely would have been interesting because, if I could get 2 guys as a sort of bridge to Likely, that would be kind of nice. Likely was going 30, 40 picks earlier than he is now, but I do really like Brenton Strange. I think he's a pretty exciting player this year, and I think he goes a lot later than he should. Hartman, he takes QJ and Tillman, a couple favorites of the best ball community, although QJ, again, I'm not really sure what the fallout from the Keenan Allen signing will be, but it does feel like he's such a Harbaugh guy And it's not like Keenan Allen got very big money. I just don't really know what to make of it, other than it muddies the water. Pretty significantly. Thinking about late backstack options, we've got Fields, Penix, and Young. So it's Josh Reynolds, really low owned, but really gross. He is clickable on Fields teams, I think, although I say he's clickable, but I'm not actually clicking him. So it's sort of like, how everyone says, oh yeah, people should ride the bus, but like no one actually wants to ride the bus. They just want other people to do it. That's like drafting. Drafting Josh Reynolds. Penix has Ray McLeod, and Bryce Young has about 35 people that you can take late. So we'll see. We'll see what we get there. Isaiah Likely is potentially wrapping around to us, and then I'm like, oh, I might take a Likely. That would be fun. And now I'm like, I kind of would rather take Jonnu. Okay, thank God. I really wanted to take Jonnu Smith on this team more than take Likely, but I would have taken Likely, I think, if only to not just like totally lie to you guys again like I did with Ayuk. I can't abandon all my credibility, but it would have been through gritted teeth that I took Isaiah Likely there. I really like Jonnu. Potentially could have made this an Aaron Rodgers team with Jonnu and Jaylen Warren. I think that would have been an interesting potential backstack there. But we did get Bryce Young. So I think it was more important for us to stack Ted McMillan. Hartman says, I'm a QJ hater, but Texans bring back. Yeah, I'm a QJ convert, sadly. I don't think he's good. He has drop problems, but I just think Harbaugh likes him. He's going to just keep trotting him out there. He was, kind of a high pedigree pick. Somebody once said, and this never like left me, was that QJ like lit up Harbaugh's Wolverines in the like national title game, and Harbaugh like never forgot that and just thinks he's good. Like I think it literally stems back from college, and Harbaugh's like, this guy torched my amazing defense. He must be really good, and he's like kind of ass, but Harbaugh doesn't think he's bad. Let's take TreVeyon Sanders. We will get the double stack here, and I do want three tight ends who are actually playing football this year rather than someone speculative. If I really am just going to end up with Strange, Jonnu, and Sanders. If I punt tight end, I think this receiving range is a pretty flat tier. I take a ton of Dyami Brown. I really like him, but I don't need to be like 25% Dyami Brown or anything crazy. So let's see what our friend Hartman did. Hartman took Jerome Ford and Jig Okonkwo. Yeah, Jig I really like in this range as well. Okay, I couldn't remember if you were the Cam Ward guy, but you are not. But regardless, I like Jig there. All right. So Daniel Jones goes to the A-Rich Drafter. My God. And the A-Rich Drafter took Mahomes unstacked with only Pacheco. So you know what? You can just do things. You can just do stuff. Hartman says, take Pat Fry, lock up Steelers tight end. Yeah. If I had Aaron Rodgers, make this a what could I have done? I could have done 4-5-5-4. Could be fun. It could be fun, people. I don't know. We'll see. It could be the new meta. I do think it would be so much fun. I mean, obviously I want to win BBM because I want $2 million, but it would be so much fun to win it with some just like off the wall lineup construction that then people start mimicking. Like if you really won BBM with a 4-5-5-4, then all of a sudden like 30% of the field would be doing it, and it's like probably objectively terrible, but you just like hit the nuts on the player takes. All right, let's get Yoshi Voss into there. I feel like let's see, did Jalen Coker go? He apparently looked awesome today. Let's get Jalen Coker. I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else I want. Let's just do Coker. I think he had such a good preseason game that people are going to steam him up, and he might actually go. If I don't get Yoshivas, I legitimately don't care. Who else we got? Ray McLeod. Do we really have to do that? Maybe not. Let's think bye weeks. Nobody with a week 14 bye week. We can't do that. Deontay Johnson, A.D. Mitchell, Isaac Tesla. I actually kind of like Jalen Naylor. Put Roman Wilson. Anytime you can just really go crazy with Pittsburgh Steelers, you really gotta consider doing it. All right, but Darius Slayton, but I don't want another week 14 bye. I don't think. That might be kind of week 1 brainy or bye week bro brainy. I don't know. Hartman says 4-4-6-4 is hyper fragile is probably better. Okay, I wasn't even sure the math worked out on that, but I don't know, man. I think I don't think we fully explored the player, the best what do you even call this, roster constructions. I think there's a chance that some just weird hyper fragile is actually kind of awesome. If you just did 150 hyper fragile teams, you might just eventually spike the nuts. But this team is not hyper fragile. This team is a 3-5-7-3 with Justin Fields, Michael Penix, Bryce Young at quarterback, CMC, Chuba Hubbard, RJ Harvey, Jalen Warren, and Cam Scatabo at running back, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Ted McMillan, Josh Downs, Brandon Ayuk, Jalen Coker, and Andre Yoshivas at receiver, and then Brenton Strange, Jonnu Smith, and Jatavion Sanders at tight end. I don't mind this team. I think this team is fine. Let's check Hartman's team before we hop into a quick Badge Bros brawl and then get out of here. So Hartman, he went 3-5-8-2. He went with Purdy, Caleb, and Stroud, Genty, Breece Hall, Bashal Tootin, Jerome Ford, and Taj Brooks. It changed my team here. It also might just kick me out of the room in a second. I like the running back room here, especially the Tootin and Brooks here. It feels like Jerome Ford at 178 is a nice value. He's definitely been going earlier than that. Puka, Odunze, Pearsall, Higgins, Pittman, Tillman, QJ, Jalen Noel, 8 receivers, and very strong receiver room. I like this group. And then Kittle and Okonkwo. Yeah, I mean you go elite tight end. You gotta draft like you're right. And I know that advice gets silly, but I think that's what you did here. You leaned into your elite tight end and then took another one I'm really into. So makes sense. Nick Bocklage, Giga Chads. Hey, as Bindle says, that is you. You're actually looking at your own reflection here in the monitor. But hey, Nick, thanks so much for coming in, and likewise, of course, Bindle. I'm gonna hop into a Badge Bros brawl. Let's do one, and I really wanted to max this. Where the heck? Why do I hate that I have to scroll past these contests I will simply never join. All right. Badge Bros Brawl. All right, so we've got 47 left. It's 88.9% filled. I don't think I'm going to get 47 in, but you know what? If 2 people want to join, hop on in, and then I'm going to get out of here. We'll run this one and then get on out. Waiting for one. I really do like the Badge Bros brawls, especially as a break from the BBM style and structure, because you can just do crazy stuff, and you can honestly plan your teams ahead so much better. If you just want to build your Jaguars dream stack, then just take Travis Hunter, BTJ, and your favorite running back, and then stack them with T-Law. If you take BTJ and Hunter, nobody's taking T-Law from you. It's just not going to happen. Nobody's taking Bigsby in this contest. No one's taking Tootin in this contest. Nobody's taking Etienne in this contest. You can just do stuff. And so it's a super fun contest. I think 80% of the field is just building trying to stumble on the same super team, just doing stuff by ADP, and are missing the boat that, you know, you can build these team stacks that are going to be less owned, and you know, could really be a lot of fun. So let's see if we can't build a shipper. We got Hartman in here. Awesome. So yeah, this will be fun. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, you've been smashing the badge bros. No, Hartman, I think this is the best contest on Underdog. I really do, because I don't think people are doing it right. And so I think there's like a little bit of an edge to this contest. And they're also really fun, and you can just do them when you have 15 minutes versus, you know, 35 to 40 for the big contests. But yeah, you can also, like, you can take double elite quarterback in this contest. Like, the best ball intelligentsia doesn't want you to know that. You can do that here, and you can still build really good teams. So, and it's also the advance rate's amazing. It's like, let's see, where is it? It's 1 of 6, 1 of 5, 1 of 5, which means if you max 150, you are expected to get a finals team. I mean, obviously you're not guaranteed to get a finals team, but that's your like expected outcome, is one finals team. And that's pretty fun. Like, we do this for getting that week 17 sweat. So all right, let's take CD Lamb here. So we'll start with a receiver. I'll try to keep the board open, but this contest people click really fast, so it's hard to keep it up. Yeah, so I'm last year I think it was a 50 max, if I remember right. And I got 17th last year, which was pretty cool. It was one of my better ROI contests. I guess I'll take Nico. I tend to do more elite running back in this contest than elite receiver, but again, I'm gonna get close to maxing it, so I don't only want to build the same structure over and over. But like, I would literally trade my team for Hartman's right now. I would absolutely rather have Gibbs and McCaffrey than Lamb and Collins. But again, I'm sure I have a few Gibbs CMC teams, because I've done so many of these that again, I don't want to, I don't want Nico to be the guy I need and me never take him, because I'm just scrolling down to, Genty, A-Chain, and Henry every single time. All right. So there goes Henry. So my God, we're getting a little bit frozen out at the elite running backs here. I think one way to make up for that would be to take like a Brock Bowers and then hope that elite tight end actually separates this year, because in the Badge Bros brawls, McBride, Bowers, and Kittle really go a lot earlier than they normally do, because the massive difference. My God, I really got frozen out at running back, like hardcore frozen out at running back. I guess let's just lean into wide receivers. Let's lean into our receivers, and we start with Lamb, Collins, Drake London, and Brock Bowers. Again, not how I normally build these, but I have Catch Charlie, who went triple running back, and I have Hartman, who went triple running back. That again, these two builds are my Hartman and Catch Charlie is how I prefer to do things, or even Code Blue, going running back. But you know what? We tried something, and let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Sorting by ADP. With my next pick, I would like at least one of these elite quarterbacks. I think that's really where you can separate from other teams. To me, it is almost essential to leave the draft with one of Allen, Jackson, Daniels, or Hurts. I really feel like it's an error to not get an elite quarterback in this contest, or you're just really drawing to that outlier, like Mahomes kind of Hall of Fame year. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take Hurts, because Catch Charlie, you took 4 running backs like a pig, and now you don't have an elite quarterback. So you know what? That's the way she goes. And we are going 0 running back in Badge Bros Brawl, which seems terrible terrible, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to catch up now. My God. I'll pull the board back up so people can see what's going on. Hartman did it too. He went Jackson Daniels. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. See, we're the only ones with elite quarterbacks. The rest of the room, even if these guys get to the playoffs, they're probably gonna lose. Because you got to think one of these four is going to go nuclear in one of the playoff rounds, and if you don't have them, you're just dead in the water. All right, let's see. I need a running back. Oh my God, they're all gone. It's James Cook. My God, it's literally James Cook. Ken Walker is my first running back. So I'm gonna make a confession to you guys. My team's probably dead. My team is probably giga dead in this contest. But we'll keep fighting. We'll keep fighting. We'll see if we can't land the plane. But I'm just gonna shoot straight with you. This is a bad spot to be in with Ken Walker here. This is so bad. I'm actually gonna take James Cook and hope that he ends his holdout. Yikes. All right, Hartman. Let's see if Hartman's faring over. See if you start with 3 running backs, Gibbs, McCaffrey, Taylor. His wide receiver room is Puka, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin. Like, that's pretty good. Like, that's not a bad wide receiver room. And yet he only had 1 wide receiver through 6. So, that is we believe you, Chad. You can build out Hartman. I appreciate it, but it's pretty thin for me at this point, unless I can strike gold somewhere with this year's Bucky or something. But obviously we're going to keep trying. So let's see. We've got Lamb, Nico, and London. I can't even get I wanted Pickens for the double stack. We don't even get that. Jeez Louise. I'm going to take Kamara because I'm a desperate man. So again, I was hoping that I could potentially do a Dak double, and I can't even get that. All right, let's see. Hartman, he takes TreVeyon. That's a really fun pick. That's someone that would have fit nicely on my team, but we don't get that. James Conner, RJ Harvey. All right, so we didn't get Devontae Smith either, so we don't even have Hurts. This is getting dicey, but let's take James Conner. So we're really hammering this second tier of running back with Ken Walker, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, and James Conner. You know what? This team's different. It's different from how I normally build, so maybe it'll work. Yeah, I love Debo when you get Daniels here. That's awesome. You get the Daniels double stack, assuming obviously McLaurin gets sorted, which I feel like he will. Paulino 89, just find the breakout running backs. Easy. Yeah, that's right. That is all I gotta do. Is I gotta find the breakout running backs. That's easy. That's the easy part. Let's see. Waddle, Flowers, Odunze, Olave. I'd probably just take one of Harvey or Caleb here, right? Like, assuming they're even there. What's the difference between Jalen Waddle and these other schmucks here? Like, if RJ Harvey goes, like, I'm just gonna close my laptop. This guy has 5 running backs. Stop. Take something else. Okay, I'm taking RJ Harvey. Dear God. All right. Well, so for the audio listeners to hear this nightmare, we've got a 2-5-3-1. You've got Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. You got Ken Walker, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, and RJ Harvey in a wide receiver room of CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, Drake London, and Brock Bowers at tight end. So this is a wonky team. Our friend Hartman, of course, he does get Ricky Pearsall over there. You know what? Sure, I'll take Jalen Waddle. Why not? Jalen Waddle as a wide receiver 4 seems good enough for I don't think this room is good enough to stop at 5 wide receivers, but I'm like legitimately tempted to go a hyper fragile wide receiver, which I never do. But it is possibly something we could do this in this team. Let's see, tight ends. We got Kelsey, we got Andrews, Ingram. I obviously could take Goddard and or Kincaid. I think that would be fine. Gosh, this is a little bit sketchy here. I think we got to do something weird and take we're going to take Tank Bigsby here. We're going way off the rails. We are going way off the rails here, and we're going to do Tank Bigsby. So, I think I do need some running backs that people aren't going to own, and I think this actually might be kind of hyper fragile. I normally do 3 quarterbacks. I'm maybe only just do Allen and Hurts here, but I think even in this format, I like taking the 3 quarterbacks. All right, I think I know what I want to do. I think I've got concepts of a plan here. Let's take Tucker Kraft. All right, we'll see if we can thread the needle. We're going to get Tucker Kraft on this team. Some of you eagle-eyed observers may see what's going on here. I also could just do 2 tight ends and take Bowers and Kraft. Maybe we got to do that. I normally like 3 tight ends, but I think this team is going to need to stop there. Hartman, I'm going to check on your team in a minute, but Drake May, pick 14. Let's go. Yeah, I got to check on your team because I think I saw you take Diggs, so I assume you've got a New England stack. I don't know how heavy you're going into that, but I like it. This guy with 8 wide receivers, my God. People just do crazy stuff, and I know I'm doing something crazy here with my 2-6-4-2, but we're gonna try to dig out of this. Let's get Matthew Golden on the team. Let's get Matthew Golden, and I'll queue up Jordan Love here. So in the ideal world, we'll get Jordan Love as part of this nightmare of a team. Let's see who Hartman takes. Is it Pop Douglas? Is he taking? No, he takes Reed. Okay. Well, thank you for not taking Jordan Love from me, because it seems like you are Green Bay curious. But if you're Lamar, then it does make sense to have some Week 17 backstacking or bringbacks there. So for the audio listeners, we've got 3-6-5-2. We've got Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Jordan Love, Ken Walker, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, RJ Harvey, Tank Bigsby at running back, CD Lamb, Nico Collins, Drake London, Jalen Waddle, Matthew Golden at wide receiver, and then Brock Bowers and Tucker Kraft holding it down. And if we want to hit home runs, we got to swing for the fences, and we're going to swing for Cam Scatabo here. We're going to go for it. Hopefully. If Scatabo goes, we'll take Jordan Mason, but I think the hamstring injury has made Scatabo pretty much non-drafted in Badge Bros Brawl. I don't think people are taking him, but we're going to do it. We're going to take him. We're going to go for late season upside. So now we've got a 3-7-5-2 team, and then we will round it out with Keon Coleman, hopefully. So this team got away from us a little bit, but I think we might have landed the plane. Yeah, Hartman, love the Jaden Blue pick. Again, he's going to be largely unowned, but if he's the guy you need, you're going to smash this contest. So we've got a 3-7-6-2 with Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, Ken Walker, James Cook, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, RJ Harvey, Tank Bigsby, Cam Scatabo, and then a wide receiver room of CD Lamb, Nico Collins, Drake London, Jalen Waddle, Matthew Golden, and Keon Coleman, and then Brock Bowers and Tucker Kraft holding it down at tight end. So very unique build, at least by my standard, more of a 0 RB-ish approach. Let's see what Hartman did here. So Hartman went 3-5-8-2 with Lamar, Daniels, Drake May. So my fellow double elite QB drafter there. He takes Jameer. He keeps messing up on me. He takes Jahmyr Gibbs, CMC, Jonathan Taylor, TreVeyon Henderson, and Jaden Blue. Yeah, I love that. I mean, such a strong first 4 running backs, and then an unowned guy who could really break out. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Ricky Pearsall, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Kyle Williams. Love that room. And then Hawkinson and Warren. Great team, Hartman. I really, I like the way you built. Hopefully, one of us escapes this room alive. But everybody, thank you so much for coming in. I had such a fun stream with you. On your way out, if you can like and subscribe, it would mean a lot. Thanks again for spending your Friday with me, and we'll see. Maybe we'll do this again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.